Good morning, tacticians. You know what time it is. It's time for tactics. Hey, so it's the morning of Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. I did my tactics puzzles this morning and I was on fire. I mean, I literally got everyone right, and I attribute a lot of it to just getting a great night's sleep. I mean, I slept for like 8.5 hours last night, daylight savings. So, I mean, getting a lot of sleep is really important for making the right moves in chess. So, let's just get into it. So the third puzzle today, I really liked it because it is rated 2220 and only 41.7% of people get this correct. So I thought that was a little bit shocking, but it is pretty difficult for a couple of nuances. So let's just get into it. So we're playing black, the computer's white, and they just made the move queen to e3. So the question is, where's the tactic? My eyes immediately go to the rooks that are set up in that formation, to where, like, if you had a bishop, you could easily skewer one to get the other. So I'm looking at things like bishop to a4, but immediately get off of it because the knight's there on c3 protecting the a4 square. So then I'm thinking, well, what if I remove the defender with, bishop takes c3, so that I can get in bishop to a4, but then it still doesn't really work because, let's just consider that line for a second. Bishop takes c3, let's say, well, the pawn can't take because it's pinned to the king. So maybe the rook takes on c3, and the whole idea of using a bishop skewer just fizzles, because then rook takes c3, and then queen takes c3, and the whole thing's pretty much done. So it's really just aesthetics. You kind of got to get off of that one and look at some other ways to juggle a tactic. But another one that stuck out to me was the relationship of the rook and the king on c2 and king on b1. Because what if bishop to g6, trying to pin the rook to the king? What would white be able to do so that they don't lose the exchange? So looking at that, what I came up with was bishop to d3, intercepting that line of sight of my bishop. And then if we trade off, I don't really gain anything, but what if I don't trade off? So playing the what if game, I was thinking, okay, bishop to g6, bishop to d3, and now maybe I try some tricks on the knight that's on c3. So maybe I go bishop takes knight c3, threatening a potential mate on b2, but the rook defends it, so he can't take the bishop. So I was like, wait a second, I need the bishop with the queen in order to checkmate on b2. So what if, starting that line over, what if after bishop to g6, bishop to d3, rook takes c3, because I'm trying to dislodge the defender of that b2 pawn so I can get a checkmate threat on that king. So it would be rook takes c3, and what's interesting is because the bishop had to intercept my bishop's line of sight on that long diagonal, the h7 to b1 diagonal, now the queen that's on his queen on e3 doesn't defend the knight on c3. So, and it indirectly serves as its own pin when I take that knight on c3. So going back, we'll start over at the line just to make sure I don't go in too many different directions. But bishop to g6, bishop to d3, rook takes c3, and what's he gonna do? He can't take with the pawn, so because it's pinned to the king. So it's going to get a discovered check if it does take. So rook takes c3, bishop takes c3, and now I'm threatening a real checkmate on b2. So, it's really tough for him to defend. And remember, his bishop at this point would be on d3. So it can't take my bishop on g6 because I'll just take his queen. So, he's got to worry more about the checkmate. So what's he going to do? Rook to d2, defending b2, because then I'm just going to take the rook on d2 with my bishop. So really cool problem for a couple reasons, a couple nuances. You got pins to deal with, discovered attacks, discovered checks, a checkmate threat on B2. So let's just restart from the beginning just so you can see the full sequence. It's bishop to G6, bishop to D3, rook sack on C3, rook takes C3, bishop takes C3. And that was the end of the problem. But from here, there's a couple moves for white. One is B3. That's the way to defend it, in which case I take here with the bishop. If he doesn't go B3, there's also queen to C1, in which case bishop still takes on D4. And then there was another variation where the queen drops to D2 or E2, but in that case you still take the pawn on D4, and then when the computer takes on G6 with the discovered attack on my bishop, it's defended by my queen on B6. So we just take back with the pawn here, and the problem's over. But you know, we're up a piece, and a lot of nuances in that problem, guys. Look for, just be creative in your thinking process. Play the what if game. That's what I do. I play the what if game. What if he does this? Then I do this. And it goes 2 or 3 steps beyond that, not just the initial knee-jerk move. So go a couple steps beyond it and test yourself and push yourself to think in these concrete ways, because tactics are undisputed. I mean, they're using the rules of chess to pull off cool combinations. Anyway, guys, have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.